Hey everyone, quasi-famous YouTube personality Brian Zane here from Wrestling with Regret, and you're watching somebody else on YouTube, Jammin' Music Man. Oh yeah!
What's up, guys? It's me, Jammin' Music Man, and welcome to my special all-new video. Now you guys know I'm a huge wrestling DVD Blu-ray collector. I have a pretty good collection going for myself. So I thought, why not do a monthly series here on my channel where I recommend you guys some wrestling DVDs, Blu-rays that I think you guys should have in your collection. That's right, I'm picking 5 DVDs or Blu-rays that I think you guys should own, and it's going to cross from any decade, from any wrestling promotion, from anywhere in the world. So I'm excited to start this series. So enough of the talk, let's start this series right now. So here's my top 5 wrestling DVD Blu-rays that I think you guys should own. Alright, you guys, this first DVD that I think you guys should have in your wrestling DVD collection, it's a classic Ring of Honor show, and if you guys know me, I love Ring of Honor, and I picked what I think is one of the best Final Battle shows. And if you guys didn't know, Ring of Honor put on these Final Battle shows every December, and for Ring of Honor, the Final Battle shows were kind of like their WrestleMania, their Starrcade, and the DVD that I picked is ROH Final Battle 2003. Now, this Final Battle show is probably best remembered for having a series of matches where you got Team ROH taking on Team All Japan. That's right, you got a joint show with Ring of Honor and All Japan, and it was kind of unheard of at the time for Ring of Honor for being, you know, an independent wrestling promotion to team up with one of the biggest wrestling promotions in Japan at the time. But the main event for this card, you get the Great Muta teaming up with Arashi to take on Christopher Daniels and Dan Moff. Also, you get Satoshi Kojima taking on Homicide. You get AJ Styles taking on Kaz Hayashi. Maybe some of you remember Kaz Hayashi from his WCW days. Now, this next match, get this, you get CM Punk teaming up with Colt Cabana. This is in better days, to take on Tomioka Homa and Kazushi Miyamoto. Those are your series of matches between Team ROH versus Team All Japan. But also on this card, you get ROH World Champion Samoa Joe taking on Mark Briscoe of the Briscoe Brothers. You get Matt Striker taking on BJ Whitmer. You get John Walters taking on Xavier. And get this, you get Bryan Danielson, the American Dragon, taking on Jay Briscoe of the Briscoe Brothers. That is your card for Final Battle 2003. Great show. If you love Ring of Honor and All Japan, you would love this show right here, Final Battle 2003, a DVD that you should have in your collection. Alright, you guys, this next DVD that I think you guys should have in your collection, it's an anthology set, and it is the Brian Pillman Memorial Show Anthology. Now, they put on these Brian Pillman Memorial shows from 1998 to 2001, and I believe it was the HWA promotion that put on these shows, the Heartland Wrestling Association, which was ran by Liz Thatcher. And these memorial shows were really special because a lot of these cards, you got a lot of WWF, WCW, and ECW talent all on one show. And I'll just read some of the match listings for you guys. The first one in 1998, you get a special guest appearance from Stone Cold Steve Austin, who was the WWF champion at the time, and, you know, the biggest star in pro wrestling at that time. Also, you get Chris Jericho taking on Chris Benoit, Al Snow taking on Chris Candido. Moving along to the 1999 Brian Pillman Memorial Show, you get Rey Mysterio Jr. and Conan taking on Dean Malenko and Chris Benoit. You get Mick Foley, aka Mankind, taking on D'Lo Brown. You get Al Snow taking on Road Dogg for the WWF Hardcore title. You get Terry Taylor taking on Dr. Tom Pritchard with Missy Hyatt. That's a real fun show from 1999. Plus you get special appearances from Ric Flair and Ricky the Dragon Steamboat on that show. And moving along to Brian Pillman Memorial Show from 2000, you get William Regal taking on Chris Benoit for the WWF Intercontinental title. And also you get Eddie Guerrero and D'Lo Brown taking on Dean Malenko and Perry Saturn. All those guys, Guerrero, Malenko, and Perry Saturn, you know, they had just jumped ship to WWF back in early 2000 during this time. Justin Credible takes on Raven for the ECW World Heavyweight title. You also get Vampiro taking on Bill DeMott. Billy Kidman and Disco Inferno take on Ron and Don Harris. Dr. Tom Pritchard takes on Tim Horner. You get Shark Boy taking on Jamie Noble. Plus you get a special appearance from Kevin Nash. That's the Brian Pillman 2000 Memorial Show. And the last one from 2001, you get the Hardy Boys taking on Edge and Christian, taking on Diamond Dallas Page and Canyon in a triple threat tag match. Wow. Also, you get Raven and Justin Credible taking on Perry Saturn and Dean Malenko. You get Chris Candido taking on Evan Courageous. You get Lita taking on Victoria. Mark Henry taking on Bill DeMott. You get the NWA World title. You get Steve Corino, who was the NWA champion at the time, taking on David Flair. Terry Taylor takes on Bobby Eaton. Let's see what else. You get Ray Steele taking on Nick Dinsmore. You get Shark Boy taking on Pepper Parks, taking on Matt Stryker and Chad Collier in a four-way match. And plus you get special appearances from William Regal. That's from the 2001 Brian Pillman Memorial Show. And you get some great special features on here. You get a lot of commercials and radio spots promoting the Brian Pillman Memorial shows. You get an interview with Les Thatcher and Brian Pillman Jr. Let's see what else you get on here. You get some behind the scenes footage, but man, this is a great DVD set that you guys should have in your collection. You know, these, like I said, these are kind of special. You get a lot of WWF, WCW, and ECW talent all on one card. But yeah, definitely you should have this in your collection. That's the Brian Pillman Memorial Show Anthology set. Alright you guys, this next DVD right here is one of my all-time favorite wrestling documentaries, and it's one of the most tragic stories in professional wrestling, and it is I Never Quit, the Magnum TA story. If you're one of those old school 80s wrestling fans or NWA wrestling fans, you would love this documentary. Magnum TA, he was one of the biggest wrestling stars on the rise back in the mid-1980s. He was going to be the NWA's answer to Hulk Hogan, but tragically he had that car accident in October of 1986. But in this documentary right here, you get basically Magnum TA's humble beginnings, growing up. I believe he grew up in North Carolina or South Carolina, and you know, he grew up a wrestling fan. He was a rock and roll fan. He was a talented musician, and then he became a he became a bouncer in a nightclub, and then he got to the wrestling business, and he got his first notoriety wrestling in Bill Watts' Mid-South territory, and then he would join the NWA, and he would have classic battles with legendary people like Tully Blanchard. Everyone remembers the I Quit match with Tully Blanchard at Starrcade 85. And they talk about the best of 7 series between Magnum and Nikita Koloff for the U.S. title. And then you learn about how It was going to be at Starrcade 86. It was going to be Magnum TA winning the NWA title from Ric Flair. But tragically, in October 86, Magnum had that car accident. And they talk about how Magnum spent months in the hospital and how wrestling fans were calling the hospital to tell the doctors that they know who caused this tragic accident. They were telling the doctors that the Four Horsemen did it. And then you learn about how Magnum has, had to overcome over the years of, learning to walk again. And he can still walk, but he can't wrestle. And he has to walk with a cane nowadays. But it's a great documentary. Like I said, if you're an old school NWA wrestling fan, you would love this documentary. This was produced by High Spots. I picked this up from highspots.com, so go check them out there if you want to pick this up. But yes, one of my all-time favorite wrestling documentaries, I Never Quit, the Magnum TA story. Alright, you guys, this next DVD set that I have right here, since we are in the month of November, I know for a lot of wrestling fans, the month of November has always been synonymous with the month of the Survivor Series. And it's been that way for 30 years now. And what I have right here is, it's actually two DVDs. Survivor Series Anthology Set Volume 1 and Survivor Series Anthology Set Volume 2. I always love the traditional Survivor Series, of course. The early Survivor Series shows were elimination matches where you had teams of 5 strive to survive. And the original Survivor Series in 1987 was actually a counter show to NWA's Starrcade 87 show. And for a lot of years, for a lot of wrestling promotions, Thanksgiving night was pro wrestling night. And of course, the first Starrcade in 83 was on Thanksgiving night. So, years later in 87, the WWF put on their counter show with the original Survivor Series. But there's only 2 volumes of this Survivor Series anthology. Sadly, the WWE hasn't put out anymore. I wish they would. I've heard rumors online that the reason why they stopped putting out this anthology set is because as, years would go on from 96 onward, that they would have the unmentionable one, Chris Benoit, appeared in a lot of Survivor Series, and you know that whole situation with the WWE and Chris Benoit. So that's what I've just seen online. But there is 2 volumes on here. Like I said, Volume 1, 87 through 91, Volume 2, 92 through 96. This is definitely a set you should have in your collection. I picked these up off of eBay, so if you're interested in them, go check them out there. But yes, Survivor Series Anthology Set Volume 1 and Volume 2. 2 DVDs I think you guys should have in your collection. Alright, you guys, this last and final DVD that I think you guys should have in your collection. It's a 10-disc set. It's something that I picked up from highspots.com a few years back. And it is the best of the 2000s. And whoa, man, this is an amazing set right here. You get some of the best matches from the year 2000 all the way up until 2010. It's a great mix of matches of strong style Japanese wrestling to American hardcore to Japanese Super Juniors to American indie wrestling. And I'm not going to sit here and bore you with the match listings from year by year, but some notable matches you get on here. You get when Keiji Muto first won the Triple Crown title in 2001. You get when Kenta Kobashi won the Triple Crown title from Vader in 2000. You get a great 1-hour match between CM Punk and Chris Hero. That's from IWA Mid-South. I know you get some hardcore matches with Necro Butcher, AJ Styles, Xavier. You also get some Lucha Libre matches on here, but it's a great set. Like I said, it's a 10-disc set from the years 2000 to 2010. Some of the best matches from all over the world. You don't get matches from the WWE, Ring of Honor, or TNA, but you do get some matches from Japan, Mexico, and American independents. But man, this is a great set, and if you love wrestling from the 2000s, You would definitely be amazed by some of these matches. But yes, definitely one you should have in your collection. That's the best of the 2000s. Alright, you guys, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope you guys go out and check out some of those wrestling DVDs that I recommend you guys picking up. So be sure to give this video a like, comment, subscribe to my channel. Links to my Twitter and my Instagram will be in the description box below. And also, go back and check out some of my past videos. Leave me some comments, leave me some feedback. But guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you guys so much for always coming back to my channel. And once again, I'm Jammin' Music Man, and I will see you guys next time.